Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning, October 29th, and we just wrapped up our first full weekend of Fed action and a lot of stuff going on here. Now, remember, later on today, I'm going to be doing another video that is going to cover the standings and I'm going to give you my 5 stars of the weekend, and but we want to focus on the games here. Okay, one piece of information I'm missing. All right, again, going through chronologically as the game started. First game, Motor City. They continue to be the cardiac kids. They come back from a deficit again and come out with a win. Third time in 4 games. 4-3 over the Bobcats, and yeah, really quick game. 2 hours, 21 minutes from start to finish. And it was kind of weird. The game time was listed as 6:05, and the game start time was 5:59. So I guess everybody just said, let's get this done. But anyway, yeah, very interesting game. Motor City coming back from behind. They trade goals. Blue Ridge each time scoring first. Motor City answering. And finally, with a minute 31 left in the game, Danny Vanderweel scores. It's his second of the game, and that gives the win to the Rockers. Goals by Blue Ridge. We had Cody Oakes, we had Hunter Hall, and Chris Ciolik. 2 assists for Dominic Matinik. And for Motor City, Vanderweel had 2 goals, 2 assists from Pavel Svensson. And Svensson, he's continuing to impress. He made the team out of camp and continue to play well. Brad Ryder also had 2 assists. Only 10 total minutes and penalties between the two teams. No power play goals. Christian Pavlos plays back-to-back games for the Bobcats, saves 34-38. Trevor Babin, first goalie in the Fed this year, to 3 wins as he stops 23 of 26. Again, he comes up clutch, gets off to maybe slower starts, but he figures it out. So there we go. Now the rematch of the rematch between last year's Cup finalists, the Carolina Thunderbirds, and Danbury Hat-Tricks. A low-scoring affair this time. Danbury wins. Carolina took the Friday night game. This is a 2-1 victory for Danbury. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you if you have this blown up and you can see that. Game-winning goal by Daniel Amesbury. So, yeah, every now and then he can put a puck in the back of the net. So anyway, Jared Yao had 2 assists on the night. The other goal coming from Stosevsky. And so Danbury holds on. They get out to a 2-0 lead. And in the third, Carolina really puts on the pressure. The final 40 minutes, really, they outshot Danbury 30-14 over the final 2 periods. But Danbury got the first 2 goals. And then Joe Kennedy did come up with an answer, but again, it was not enough. So Connor McCollum, the new sheriff in town for the Hat-Tricks, continues to play well. He's got a save percentage for the year now of .952 in 3 games. Yeah, every game he's played, he's had over 900 in the save percentage. So yeah, stopping 34-35, and Cavalier, in a losing effort, stops 17 of 19. All right, the odd game of the night goes to surprise. Mississippi is in that category again. Mississippi falls to Port Huron 5-4 in overtime. Um, this was this is an example of, people were a little harsh on me as far as, I when I did my preseason picks, I did not pick Mississippi to make it to the playoffs, whereas everybody else is, and this is why. It just sloppy, undisciplined play, and it ends up hurting them. Um, again, Port Huron takes an early lead, 3 goals right off the bat. You have Brandon Picard scoring, Braden Deck, and then Sam Merritt scored on a power play. So just a minute 29 into the game, or a minute 29 into the second period, excuse me, it's already 3-0 Prowlers. Mississippi, like they often do, get their goals in gluts. They buy in bulk, and so they rattle off 4 in a row to take the lead. Kyle Russell scores. Jackson Bond scores on a shorty. That's the second time in 2 games. Mississippi has put a shorty away. He had Joaquin Nilsson and Chuck Costello. So now 5:22 into the third, Mississippi is up. Um, I'm not sure what happened. I'm waiting for a report. I was not able to actually see this game. Liam Murray left at the end of the second period and did not return. At that point, it was a 3-3 game. I'm not sure if there was an injury, so I hope to find out more information today. But Joseph Shepard comes in for the third period, and you know, everything's going well. Mississippi's holding on lead. And then Joe Pace does Joe Pace things. The man is a great entertainer. He's a great promoter, but very undisciplined on the ice. I'm just saying what it is. So he gets an instigator penalty midway through the period. It's a 2-minute minor. Serves that. And then he gets another instigator penalty. This time, the ref said, "That's it, we've had enough." They give him a 5 for fighting, even though there was no penalty assessed to Port Huron. And he gets the game for second instigator in a game. That's just Fed rules. So that puts Mississippi in an awful place, playing shorthanded for 5 minutes. Now they killed it off, but then Connor Lind gets an unsportsmanlike penalty in the final minute of the game. So Port Huron pulls Sokolov, who was in goal last night, for the extra attacker. And yeah, Tristan Sims scores a power play goal with the extra attacker. That's at 1946. So we go to overtime, and then it's all Prowlers. So Vincent DeCumbus, making a nice comeback after missing most of last year with an injury. He scores 50 seconds in, and that's the game. Port Huron comes out with 2 points instead of 1 or none. So Sokolov stops 33 out of 37 in his debut for the season, and 60 minutes and 10 seconds, which is 66% of the total minutes he had last year. So Sokolov able to put in a full game, and it was good to see. So so Port Huron escapes with the victory. Small crowd. Binghamton Black Bears travel up to Watertown to take on the Wolves. Back end of home and home. I didn't put the attendance. It was 8:04. It was announced late. Binghamton comes away with a 5-3 victory. Not quite as insane as the Friday night game was with a 9-5 score. But the big news of this game was Travis Ridgen was given the start. Unfortunately, he was given an extremely short leash by coach Brian Verbeek. So Ivashkin scores on the power play, 4:44 in, and it was just on a mad scramble up in front, and not enough defenders. Really, nothing Ridgen could have done. So okay, we give him that. Then at 14:39, Brendan Stanko shoots a puck. Ridgen makes a save. Puck goes behind the net, and for some reason, Ridgen just didn't track it. Stanko shoots the puck off of Ridgen's leg from behind the net and scores. And Brian Verbeek said, "All right, you're done." Second straight night that Verbeek pulls a goalie after a bad goal early in the first, and in comes Josh Rosenvig. So, Leeson scores on a power play, first of two for the night. Of course, Leeson is having a great start to the year for the Wolves. So that draws them back. In the second period, Chase DeBari scores. He had a goal and assist. And so Watertown ties it back up. So Rosenvig is the goalie of record. Defensive meltdown by the Wolves, and Austin Thompson scores on a 3-on-none rush. Rosenvig hung out to dry. That ended up being the the third goal there. And then later on, there's goals by JT Walters and Tyson Kirkby on the power play. So Jesse Anderson had himself a great game. Hit a forward playing defense, but he ended up with 3 assists. Leeson had the 2 goals. Very nice night for him. 5-3 tally at the end. Nolan Egbert made 28 of 31 saves for the Black Bears, and then Travis Ridgen went 11 for 13 in the 14:39 they played, and then Rosenvig went 25 for 28. So this is the 5th straight game for the Black Bears that they get points. So not a bad start for them. For the River Dragons, they complete the 3-game sweep in Baton Rouge. Not really a surprise, but I was very impressed that Baton Rouge had 2490, which you're thinking, well, that's a huge arena. They can seat now that 9,000, 2,400 isn't really that good of a crowd. Keep in mind, SEC football is going on. SEC football is king. So the fact that 2490 showed up for a Saturday night game in Baton Rouge, that was really, really good. Above expected. They had a great turnout this weekend. The fans are really getting behind the team, and that is great to see. Cody Wickline, he starts off where he left off the game before. He gets a goal and 2 assists. Had himself a wonderful weekend, 4 goals and 4 assists total in 3 games. Columbus gets out to a 4-0 lead. There's a power play goal by Austin Doe. There's 2 goals by Alex Jemayev. And so 4-0 after 2. Baton Rouge fights back, gets goals from Brendan Hussey and Parker Moscal. And then an empty netter by Alex Storjahan at 17:21 kind of ended the whole comeback bid. So Baton Rouge, they put forth their best effort. It just wasn't enough. Columbus, again, I don't see them losing many games this year. They'll lose a few. Nobody's going to go through the season 56-0. But Greg Harney stops 38 of 42. Of course, the one goal was the empty netter, so that's he only gave up 4 goals, not 5. And Brendan Colgan, 29 of 31. So Columbus gets off to a nice 3-0 start. And Baton Rouge, they'll come back this next weekend and try and get their first win. So that is the culmination of this weekend's games. Again, we will have a standings and stars video a little bit later on. We'll recap that. And then tomorrow we get back to Spotify podcasts. So make sure to tune in there. Thank you so much for watching, for all your support. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook, Fed League Flash. I'm Gary Ryan. Have yourself a great week ahead.